Hello everyone just passing by, my name is Bryer and welcome to the final episode of me going through my entire CD collection. So we're just going to go through everything I have left from T to Y and plus everything else. That didn't really fit on the shelf, I should probably also mention. So here we go, we're going to start with T. First up we have Songs from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. The first song I heard was actually a cover of their song "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," and when I heard that song, it was like it sounded really good, and I wanted to find out more about them. And to a lot of people, this is their best album, so that's why I picked it up. Of course, we all know this "Everybody Wants to Rule the World," which has been covered numerous times from, of course, by Lorde, which is what most people think of, but I think I know the definitive version of this song.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Moving on, this is actually a really good album. It's actually a lot different than what you normally think of 80s pop. It kind of has progressive elements almost, which is really cool. I mean, really, you should probably check this out. Tears for Fears, really underrated. So, put those there for now. Next up, I only have one album by this particular artist, and he recently did pass away a couple years ago. And this is Tom Petty with Into the Great Open Wide Open. Sorry about that, but yeah, I only knew one song from this, which was Learning to Fly, which is, as of now, my current favorite Tom Petty song. But from what I've heard, this is actually a really good album. A lot of good songs here. Not sure if I'll get his studio albums. I know he's a classic artist and all that. He gets a lot of respect, and we'll see. I might get more of his albums one day. All right, next we have Tool. This is Undertow. I think this was their debut album. First one I got, I believe. And here we have, I don't know how to say it, an enema, I think. You can help me in the comments down below. What's cool about this one, if you open it up, not only does it have a booklet, but if you take this out, it comes with this little film here. I guess to give it a bit more of a weird, fake 3D effect, I guess. It's not really 3D, but it kind of feels like it, looks like it. And let me just show you the artwork. Tool has some really unique artwork. There's the back of this. There's some, here. Right there. It's really weird. Even the disc itself. I don't know if this should be censored or not, but there you go. But yeah, very, very interesting band. I do plan to get all their albums. It's pretty easy. They only have 5 now. But of course, the only issue is that they're expensive. Anyway, moving on. Let me just put this away, and we'll continue. Next, we have another soundtrack album. We have Top Gun. Had to get this one. Kind of a novelty. Of course, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure novelty is not the best word to describe it, but honestly, I wanted to get this because it's a pretty well-known soundtrack. And of course, funny enough, I actually haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen clips of it, and I've seen Quentin Tarantino's interpretation of Top Gun. I don't know if I can actually put a clip here, but I'll probably leave a link in the description so you can check that out. It really will open your eyes. But anyway, moving on, we have Toto. Toto number 4, their 4th album. Of course, this is mainly well known for the 2 big hits, which is Rosanna and Africa. And of course, Africa being a meme and all, which has helped to give it much more popularity. But all the other songs on this I love. I Won't Hold You Back is a nice little ballad. Afraid of Love, Waiting for Your Love, that's a really good song. But yeah, really check this band out. A lot of their deep cuts are really good, and definitely a band I'll definitely be checking out more. And already we're done with the T's, so now let's go on to the U's. Next, we got a very well-known band. We have U2. Here we go. We have War. Really good one here. Sunday Bloody Sunday, Seconds, New Year's Day. Really good album. Next, another one by U2. We have The Unforgettable Fire. And this one's probably my favorite U2 album, like most. We have The Joshua Tree. The first 3 songs are just killer. And then you have the other songs like Bullet, The Blue Sky, Running to Stand Still, In God's Country, and Mothers of the Disappeared. Just classic album here. And last one by U2, I have Achtung Baby. This is one I probably need to listen to more. This is definitely the one I listen to the least. But from what I've heard, this is a pretty good one, at least by most fans, so probably have to listen to a couple more.
Top 10 things U2 has learned over the years. Here we go, number 10. A lot of people think I'm the guy who sang with CHER. I suck at Guitar Hero.
Really? Dumb people send us videos all the time. They think we're YouTube.
Even my family asks, are you Adam or Larry?
There's always quite a stir at APPLEBEE'S when they call, U2, party of 4.
Cool name, The Edge. Uncool name, Sting.
Wait a second. That wasn't what he was supposed to say.
Melted cheese tastes good on practically everything.
That's right.
Sometimes when we shout, are you ready to rock? I don't care if you're ready to rock.
It's never too soon to start working on a phony Irish accent. Yeah. Up close, you can totally see Letterman's hairpiece. What?
Alright, now, next up is probably a band that's definitely doesn't get a lot of people don't talk about them very much. This is a band called Uriah Heep. This is their 2nd album, Salisbury. Really interesting album cover. This is the original album cover. I'll show you the US version, which is actually pretty different. Here. So let me just find it. What's kind of, I don't know, I never really liked this. Like, when I first got this, it was like this, but to open it, it's kind of like that. I never really liked that, because it's kind of trips me out, because sometimes I'll forget. And so when I try to open it, I realize oh shit. Anyway, but that's just me nitpicking. So anyway, let me find the US version of the album cover, which is this. Very, very freaky. I don't know, you can tell me which one you prefer, this one or this one. I actually don't really mind, I like both of them, but you can tell me in the comments below. So let me put this back. And we'll continue. I have one more Uriah Heep album, and that will kind of close off the U's. Here, this is probably their most well-known album. This is their fourth one, which is Demons and Wizards. I love that album cover. It's done by Roger Dean, which I'll be talking about more later. But this is a really good album. Definitely a good way to start if you want to get into Uriah Heep. So yeah, I'll definitely be getting more of them soon. And we are done with the U's. Now it's time for V. And again, V is kind of another short pile. I'm not sure how long this episode will be, but Next, we have Van Halen with their most popular debut album. Of course, I mean, for their first album, this just shreds. I mean, Running with the Devil, Eruption, goes into You Really Got Me, Ain't Talking About Love, Jamie's Crying, Ice Cream Man, just top to bottom. Another really great rock album. And come on. I mean, David Lee Roth has the flexibility to make anyone jealous. And of course, I have Van Halen 2. Not as good as the debut, but still good. After that, we have Fair Warning. And the last one with David Lee Roth, we got 1984. Just kind of an interesting one. Of course, the big hits I love, like Jump, Panama, Time for Teacher, but everything else, I don't know, I can't really, it's hard, I have a really hard time getting to the other songs for some reason. Then again, most people, aside from the big hits, a lot of people have said that this album is a tad overrated, but, you know, I don't know. And I do have one album with Sammy Hagar, and that is, I always forget, OU 812, right here. Okay, my thoughts on Sammy Hagar, or at least most people call it, like, Van Hagar or something. My thoughts on it, like, obviously I prefer David Lee Roth. And I'll say this, technically Sammy Hagar is a better singer than David, but I will say that the era with David Lee Roth, that era to me is a lot more fun. Like, the songs here are good, but they're longer. They're definitely trying to make like these longer songs, and sometimes it works, sometimes it gets a little boring. Like, it's just not as fun as the David Lee Roth era, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people do like the Sammy Hagar era, and I'm not judging. I mean, there's some good stuff here, but not stuff I go to very often. And lastly, for V, which is just one band, I just have this one greatest hits, probably the only greatest hits of them I'll ever get. Anyway, not much to say on that one.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You might want to give it a minute. You were in there with your guitar?
Well, you never know when inspiration might strike. Let's go. 2 burritos and a root beer float.
Okay, so now we're in W. First up, we have another greatest hits. We have the essential Weird Al Yankovic. This is a 2 CD pack. Lots of his most famous stuff. As of now, I don't know if I'll get his studio albums, because as of now, this has everything I ever need from Weird Al. Maybe, who knows? Just looking through the track listing. I mean, yeah, it pretty much has most of his big hits. So, this is, if you want to get greatest hits, this is a good one to get. Alright, next we have Wham! Of course, with George Michael. Of course, just lots of just your typical 80s bubblegum pop sound. And then we have their last album, Music from the Edge of Heaven. And after that, we have Whitesnake, 1987. Most people will kind of dismiss this album like it's a bit overrated, but I mean, this is a good 80s rock album. And I've definitely been trying to get into their earlier stuff too, because I know in the early days they were kind of more very bluesy types of very bluesy hard rock type of band. But still, this is a good album. Like Still the Night is a great opener, and everything else is really good too. There's the hits like Is This Love and Here I Go Again. But I mean, this is a good rock album. Now we're kind of taking a little jump. We're going from hard 80s rock to now 80s pop. Here we have Whitney Houston. Of course, this is her second album, just called Whitney. I mean, this whole series is just showing just how diverse my music taste is. I can just go from rock to pop and just like that. Like, it just depends on my mood, really. But yeah, good. I mean, Whitney Houston, what can you say? She's a great singer. Lots of great. I mean, she has an amazing voice. Just rest in peace. And we have another one. This is My Love Is Your Love. And kind of going back to the rock again, we have The Who.
Skippy, what's the name of that group playing on stage?
Who?
The name of the group.
Who?
The group on stage.
Who?
The group playing on stage.
Who?
You're starting to sound like an owl, Skippy.
Who is on stage?
That's what I'm asking you. Who is on stage?
That's what I said.
You said who?
I sure did.
So tell me the name.
Who?
The name of the group.
Who?
The group on stage.
Who?
The name of the band on stage.
Who?
You're doing that owl thing again, Skippy.
I am not Aunt Slappy. I'm telling you who's on stage.
What are you asking me for?
Yeah, you get the picture. Anyway, The Who. This is one of the most famous ones. We have Tommy, one of the most well-known rock operas in music. Just a really good album. This is definitely an album you can't just pick songs from. This is an album you just have to listen to the whole thing from beginning to end, because otherwise you're not gonna get everything. There's lots of context lost. So this is definitely one you have to listen to from top to bottom. Then we have Who's Next, another one of their famous ones, and I think this is definitely a good one to check out if you want to get into The Who. Has their big ones, of course, Baba O'Reilly, and won't get fooled again, of course. But Behind Blue Eyes, The Song Is Over, Bargain, Love Ain't For Keeping, classic 70s rock. And here we have Who Are You? The last one with drummer Keith Moon. Amazing drummer. And I have the shitty greatest hits. I actually don't know why I got this. I guess it was cheap. It was at a thrift store. Like, fuck it. Might as well get it. Yeah, it's not the best. I mean, like, sound-wise, it's not too good, so you can skip this one. And finally, closing off W, we have another one of those bands you probably don't really hear too often. We have Wishbone Ash. This was 1972. And fun fact, this knight here that you see would go on to be one of the inspirations for the designs of Darth Vader. And you can kind of see, especially with the helmet and the cape there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is 70s progressive rock, and it's a really good one. And this is actually one of those bands that kind of pioneered. They weren't the first, but they pioneered the twin guitars, like two lead guitarists, which is really good, which is really cool. But yeah, check this out. This is really good. This is really good, especially if you want more obscure stuff in your collection. Okay, we're down to the last letter, and that is the letter Y. And what band best represents the letter Y is this one. Yes, it's Yes. And again, this is their UK cover, and I'll show you the US because I'll let you decide which one's better. So here's the UK, and flip it over. There's the US, which is very interesting. I do like that picture of them. From it looks like they're in like it's not a cemetery. I have to look it up, but this is actually a really good cover. But you can decide which one's better. I kind of prefer to have this cover showing because this is a bit more authentic. But that's just me. So here we go. Put it back here. I have a lot of Yes, by the way, so I'll try to get through these as fast as I can. Next we have, I might need to censor this one. Time and a Word. This is their second album. And again, this is the UK cover. You can kind of, by the way I censored it, kind of see why. They had to change it for the US. So I'll show you the US, which is this. The only thing about this, which is kind of knocks this one down, is that it's a bit inaccurate because it has guitarist Steve Howe on it, and he didn't appear at all in this one, so it's kind of not really, again, not accurate, but oh well, you can decide which one's better. And now we have their third, the Yes album. Definitely a good one to start if you want to get into Yes. You almost have the classic lineup, and it's this one. I had to sneak that somewhere. But memes aside, this is the first one to have the classic lineup, which was John Anderson on vocals, Chris Squire on bass, Steve Howe on guitar, Bill Bruford on drums, and Rick Wakeman on keyboards. And this is definitely, definitely one people point to most if you want to get into Yes. And by the way, this is the first, which is the first one to have the Roger Dean artwork, which I already mentioned previously with Uriah Heep. Just nice little picture of Earth there. Really nice. This one took me a while to get into, actually. It was the first one I bought, and I only knew the, of course, Roundabout, which I just previously played. And other than that, it took me a while to actually, appreciate the whole album. It's still not one of my all-time favorite Yes albums, but this is definitely a good one, too. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on. This is probably their most... This is kind of renowned as their magnum opus. We have Close to the Edge, another Roger Dean artwork. And it's just green, which that's why I like it so much, because green is my favorite color. So that's why I like this album cover so much. And there's only 3 songs, but all those songs are just masterpieces. Just go, if you're a music fan, this is definitely a must listen to. Next we have Tales from Topographic Oceans. This one's a love or hate type of album. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm still trying to listen to, but there's still some good moments in it, but there's just sometimes, there's times the album does tend to, it drags on at some points, so it kind of takes you out of it. You're like, okay, let me listen to something different. And it is a hard album. It's 4 songs, but all the songs are close to 20 minutes, and it's a lot to get through. So if you have a lot of time, if you're in the right mood, then this is definitely good to check out. Of course, definitely not an album, not a good introduction to Yes. That's more like If you're that's more like advanced. If you want to get into the more deeper stuff. But anyway, now let's go on to my favorite Yes album, which is Relayer. Just love that album cover. Just love the white. I gotta show you the whole one, the whole picture. Like, I just love that. Really cool. Yeah, this was the album that really turned me on to Yes. First listen to just blew me away. Gates of Delirium. 21 minutes, but it's a masterpiece. Sound chaser. Nice little jazz rock type of song. And it ends with To Be Over, which is a gorgeous song. I love the guitar work on that one, so check this one out. Next we have Tornado. A lot of people don't like this one. I think it's okay. There's some good songs, but definitely not as strong as the other ones. We have Drama. A lot of people say this was pretty good. This one's the first one without John Anderson on vocals. This is actually Trevor Horn, who of course we know from the Bungles with Video Killed the Radio Star. Interesting choice, but it does kind of work. I think it works at some points. Now we get to the controversial one. 90125. This was Yes really starting to sell out. But I like it. Hear me out. Yes, it has the big hit "Owner of a Lonely Heart," which is played a lot in like radio, and a lot of people say it's overplayed. I don't like it, but I still like it. And all the other stuff here are actually pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's very 80s pop. It's very 80s, very much 80s, but they still have some progressive elements in there, which I think still sounds good. My favorite song in here is probably Changes. It starts with a nice little intro. Then it's kind of starts off with Trevor Rabin, who was the guitarist at the time. Like, he sings some of the verses, and he's actually a really good singer and a good guitar player too. So, don't know if you would want this. It depends. If you want to check out 80s Yes, then this is a good one. It's probably the only good 80s album at that time, so yeah, get this one. Now, this is an album that, yeah, I can't get to this one. I've tried. It's just boring. I just can't get into this one. And Rick Wickman said he'd rather call this one Onion. I mean, kind of harsh, but oh well. And finally, to close off, Yes, I have this little greatest hits highlights. It's a good greatest hits. You probably get this one. Got a good price on this. And that closes off the Whys, but we're not done yet. No, we're not done. There's still some more CDs to get through. So I'm gonna start off with some of these. These are the ones that don't really fit in the shelves because either one, they're just the casing is just kind of different. It's kind of hard to take them out. I'll explain them, but here we go. These are the miscellaneous stuff. First up, we have, this is Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie. Of course, most well known from Fleetwood Mac, which we've covered before. I mean, this is actually a really good album. I was surprised. It's not groundbreaking. I mean, this is just two people just getting together and just making an album. And this is the closest you'll get of having a Fleetwood Mac reunion, of having the classic lineup. It has Lindsey Buckingham, it has Christina McVie, it even has Mick Fleetwood on drums and John McVie on bass. The only one missing is Stevie Nicks. Of course, nowadays we know that's never gonna happen again. Possibly. Who knows? I'm just saying. But yeah, good album. Definitely worth checking out. Alright, next we have Traces, Steve Perry. His first studio album in like 20 years. And what a comeback. I mean, it sounds really good. His voice has aged, which, like most singers do, but definitely good songs on this. Just really, really big surprise. And I even got this at Walmart, and it actually came with a poster, which you can see over there. Still hanging there. So yeah, good album. Oh, shit. Hit the CDs. Alright, and following that, we have the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. This actually comes with mono and stereo, both mixes. And this is actually one of my favorite albums of all time. It's often regarded as one of the greatest albums ever made, and let me just move that because you can see my phone. Because as you can, because it's actually a flashlight on me. But I mean, sidetracked. Yeah, it's just an amazing album. I mean, this is kind of weird. Like, obviously Brian Wilson produced this one, and I've listened to like the recording sessions of this, and Brian Wilson, the producer, is kind of what I want to be as a film director. Like he has the whole thing in his head. He knows what he wants, and he does a great job explaining what he wants. And it's just what I want to do when I become a film director. Just really inspirational stuff for me. I love this album. Probably my top 10. This one's kind of a weird one. This is a Linkin Park. This is an underground thing. I'm guessing this was kind of for a fan club. I got this from my uncle. It came with a shirt, which is way too small for me. It's like for like maybe like 6-year-old, like I don't know, like an 8-year-old could wear it. So, but yeah, I haven't opened this. I haven't checked this out yet. If any people know what these sound like, you can let me know, because I really have no plans of opening this up. Might as well keep it. I don't know, maybe collectible. Who knows? And here we go. Next up, we have Led Zeppelin. Great debut. Classic album. My only Led Zeppelin one, surprisingly, which I'm really shocked about. But again, their albums are expensive, so they're like $13 on Amazon. Like, are you kidding me? But I guess I can't really complain. Just good album. Classic. After that, we have the Beatles. Revolver. This is a US edition of it, which is, I'm kind of disappointed because there are some songs that are out which the UK has that I kind of wish it did have here, if I'm making any sense. But I don't know. It's a good one to get, but I hope I can get like a UK pressing soon. Next, this is another King Crimson one. We have Lark's Tongues and Aspic. Now, I talked about this one before in Court of the Crimson King. If you were listening to that one and listen to this, you would think this is a completely different band. But it still sounds great. I mean, the reason why, I should probably explain why this doesn't fit on the shelf, because it looks like it does, but if I were to compare, I get this. Like, if you let me compare, you can see that it's slightly taller than a traditional CD, and that just annoys me. So that's kind of why. But good album, classic one, must have in any collection. Almost there. We have Paul McCartney, This is his latest album, Egypt Station. Now, this one's pretty interesting because, as you can see, if we open this up, whoa, that's the lyric sheet, but on the other side, it's a lot. Look at that. You can see why this doesn't go on the shelf. But it's really cool. Like, never seen a CD like this. So, but the music sounds pretty good too. I mean, Paul McCartney still has it. And lastly, here we have Journey. This is a little box set. Again, let me compare. It's about the same height as C, but you can see it's very short. And again, that annoys me. So it's in a separate pile. But it comes with 5 albums. As you can see, all comes with all 5 of this. And I'll take out one of them. Here's what it looks like. I guess it's trying to simulate like having an actual vinyl, but you ain't fooling. You ain't fooling. This, we all know this is not the real thing. But they tried. I'll give them that. Now you think we're done, but we still have one more thing to talk about, and that is this one. I originally wanted to show this when I was talking about the P's, but I forgot. So this is kind of me making up for it. But this is the Pink Floyd Discovery box set. It has all their albums up to the Division Bell. It doesn't come with their latest one, which I'll probably get soon, but as of now, not yet. Has all their CDs in here. I got this used, by the way, but it has all of them. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I'll briefly talk about each one. But here we have the debut and the Piper at the Gates of Dawn. A saucerful of secrets. That was the last one. Have featured Syd Barrett. We have More, which was a soundtrack. Trying my best to do this quickly, but sometimes they get caught. Oh shit. Yeah, oopsies coming out. We have Amagama. This is a live and studio album. Adam Heartmother. Very interesting choice to use cows. A cow. Metal. You probably don't know this, but if you open this up, you'll see that this is actually an ear. Obscured by Clouds. Another soundtrack album. And of course, talking about Pink Floyd, you can't go and ignore this one. Not gonna say anything because what else can you say about it? Wish You Were Here. Animal. Z. It's plural. This one took me a while to get into, but I'm starting to click with me. And this one's probably my favorite Pink Floyd album because I related to the most. We have The Wall. Amazing album. Love it. I usually play it from start to finish. Then we have The Ultimate Cut. Momentary Lapse of Reason. And finally, we have The Division Bell. Now, I actually have 2 copies. And you're probably wondering why. So, again, I got this used, and this one, surprisingly, got the raw end, because it's just a mess. And I know there are ways to clean it, but I was going to, but then I was at a thrift store, and I found this, which is in much better quality, and so, fuck it, I'll get it. I might as well get it while it's right there. So I now have 2 copies of Deep Division Bell, but I'm not complaining. I mean, I still think it's a good album, and to me, this is the real, true ending to Pink Floyd. I know we have the Endless River, but that was just mainly outtakes from this. And plus, High Hopes is the most fitting way to end. But other than that, that is the Pink Floyd box set. And that is the final CD I have in my collection. This was a lot of fun to do, especially for editing. This was a lot of fun to edit, like inserting a lot of random clips, a lot of random edits, because I didn't want it to just be me sitting here and just going through each CD, briefly talking about it. Like, I want to do something different, something you don't expect. That's why a lot of these edits are random.
Alright, Mum.
So, kind of keeps you on your toes, but I really hope you did enjoy this series. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm probably going to take a short break, but I do plan to do more CD related videos in the coming future, so please leave a like, subscribe so you can be notified. Also hit the bell, of course, if you want to be notified about any new videos coming out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, whatever I have planned, and I'll see you then. Take care and have a good evening.
Squidward on a chair.